In this edition of RPP News, flooding hits the peninsula, the Shire has a new mayor, and RPP Frankston is on the air. Hello, I'm Catie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPP News, bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula were hit by serious flooding this week after a heavy downpour of some 80 millimetres of rain in the early hours of last Monday. SES units received over 550 calls for help in the first 24 hours, with SES Hastings unit reporting requests for assistance arriving every few seconds, the majority from Mornington and Mount Martha. Streets and properties were flooded, people were evacuated, and a number of areas reported landslides, including a large landslip near Anthony's Nose in Macrae, which put houses in danger and closed Point Nepean Road. More landslips were reported south of Shoreham Beach and on Drum Alec Creek. The rainfall, along with high tides, also destabilised a cliff at the back of Mount Martha North Beach, making it vulnerable to collapse. The area has been cordoned off, cutting off access to 49 beach boxes directly in front of the cliff. Mount Martha Lifesaving Club opened its doors to provide showers, toilets and kitchen facilities to affected locals, along with sandbags and Wi-Fi. Meanwhile, local people have been using social media to plead for temporary accommodation after their homes were flooded. The SES has set up a dedicated phone line for residents with homes impacted by the rain event on 1300 850 600. The Peninsula has a new mayor and deputy mayor. Briars Ward Councillor Steve Holland was elected mayor of Mornington Peninsula Shire following a tense 3 rounds of councillor voting on Tuesday evening. Councillor Holland, Sarah Race and Deputy Mayor Lisa Dixon all nominated for the mayoral role. Lisa Dixon lost in the first round, leaving councillors Race and Holland to contest the deciding ballot. Steve Holland's success was guaranteed when Lisa Dixon and her primary support, Anthony Marsh, backed the Holland ticket. The vote to install Councillor Deborah Maher as Deputy Mayor was equally tense and also required 3 rounds. Again, Lisa Dixon lost in the first, leaving Antonella Celli and self-nominating Deborah Maher, both of the Seawinds ward, to face off in the deciding ballot. Once more, Lisa Dixon and Anthony Marsh's support tipped the ballot in Councillor Maher's favour. RPP caught up with the new mayor immediately after the vote.
The councillor group makes a lot of important decisions every day, and it's the role of the mayor to really keep the group united and to shepherd those important policy decisions through. The main theme is to make sure that, regardless of what happens with the state election on the 26th of November, is that the Mornington Peninsula is getting its fair share. We've had 2 elections this year, which has been enormous for outgoing Mayor Councillor Marsh, and we've got to make sure that the commitments that the various politicians and parties have made for the Mornington Peninsula, or lack thereof, that they stick to those and we deliver for our community.
In handing over the mayoral chains, outgoing Mayor Anthony Marsh.
Yes, a relay baton and a bat phone. The phone itself is a bit of a token, and we're starting to build a new trend from here on in where we hand the baton over to the next mayor. We'll hope to get it engraved, I think. And the phone is, I think Councillor Marsh, outgoing mayor, said it best. He said that being in this role can sometimes be a bit lonely, and it's important to remember that you can always rely on your colleagues around the table if you need support, and to always pick up the phone and call them.
The mayoral race for Frankston has also been called, with Councillor Nathan Conroy being voted in for a second term. He is the first mayor to have back-to-back terms in Frankston in over 20 years. A popular mayor who has been highly visible and active in the community over the past 12 months, Mayor Conroy will be supported by new Deputy Mayor Liam Hughes, the 20-year-old councillor for the South Ward. RPP Frankston has launched. On Monday, RPP presenter Tracy Hutchison put the community station's new Frankston studio to air. With support from the Frankston Council and the Community Broadcast Foundation, the new studio links to RPP's main studio facility in Mornington. Situated in the Ebdale Community Hub complex, the studio was host to a number of Frankston dignitaries, including Mayor Nathan Conroy, who revealed his opening song as a radio DJ would be Daryl Braithwaite's Horses. Member for Dunkley Peter Murphy phoned in for a chat from New York, where she's representing Australia at the United Nations. Station manager Brendan Telfer called the move momentous and promised further expansion to the facility in 2023 to provide TV capacity. The program also included a state election update with a profile of the 4 seats covering the Frankston broadcast area, including Frankston, Carrum, Cranbourne and Bass. It's the final week before the state elections. If you're on the Peninsula and still deciding who to vote for, tune into Peninsula Talks with Tracy Hutchison on Monday from 11 a.m. She'll be running 2 concurrent studios to interview as many of the candidates for Nepean, Mornington and Hastings as she can cram into 2 hours. Tune in to hear people make their final pitches and pledges for the Peninsula only on RPP FM. After a successful first year which saw 7,000 school leavers celebrate the end of their final exams in style, Peninsula Schoolies Music Festival is returning to Rye Foreshore. On Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th of November, there'll be 2 days of food trucks, local markets and a music lineup featuring some of the country's best and brightest, including Peking Duck, Hermitude, Ruby Fields, Teenage Dads and many more. School IDs will be required and tickets are available at Peninsula Schoolies on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok and on the Peninsula Schoolies website. And Frankston Arts Centre unveiled an impressive new program for 2023 this week at a VIP event hosted by multi-award-winning artist Catherine Alcorn, who performs as the divine Miss Bet. Works such as Silence and the Sunshine Club from First Nation storytellers will share stories of the oldest continuous culture on Earth. Contemporary stories include the deeply moving and uplifting Personal by Jodie Mundy and Paradise, starring Jacob Rajan, which plunges theatregoers into the heady depths of downtown Mumbai. Frankston Arts Centre's head of programming, Heidi Irvine, said the season is one of hope, passion, inspiration and most importantly, joy. For more information, visit thefac.com.au. After the break, we have this week's weather report.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but the 5th biggest retail bank is snapping at their heels. It's a bank that's been around for over 160 years, can be found in over 500 locations nationwide, looks after over 1.8 million customers, and is regularly voted one of the most trusted brands out of all the thousands of brands in Australia. Who is this fantastic number 5? Yep, it's Bendigo Bank. The better big bank.
Established in 1988, Progress Signs has been servicing the local community for 30 years. Located on the Mornington Peninsula, they are the #1 destination for all your signage needs, specialising in a variety of signage from vehicles to shop fronts, occasional and corporate events, short-term, long-term and everything in between. If it's signs you need, be it large or small, Progress Signs is the place to call. Available 24/7 at progress-signs.com.au or call the team on 5975 9188. Thinking signs? Think Progress Signs, a station sponsor.
Welcome back. Let's turn now to the weather. Today, Sunday the 20th of November, brought us a mostly wet day with a high of 19 and a low of 12. Monday sees another wet day across the peninsula. We are looking at a high of 15 and a low of 8. Tuesday sees even more rain, bringing us a high of 18 and a low of 8. Wednesday the 23rd of November brings us even more rain with a top of 19 and a low of 10. Thursday will be overcast with sunny patches with an easing of that rain. We should reach a high of 20 and a low of 8. Friday promises to be the warmest day of the week with a high of 23 and a low of 14. And finally, Saturday sees some rain returning with a high of 21 and a low of 14. Let's now cross to our surf guru Muzz with this week's surf report.
Hi, Muzz back with this week's Mornington Peninsula surf report. Hope you're all survived the heavy rain, the flood, the horrendously bad water. I know a bunch of crew were surfing here at Shoreham on Tuesday. It was pretty disgusting brown water, lots of runoff and washout. Likewise, everywhere where there's a creek, the water's been putrid. A few days of waves, onshore for a couple of days, but looks like Sunday we'll go back offshore and there should be some waves around. And Monday we're going to get a change with a big jump in the swell, so we'll be back in Western Port again Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday. It looks like the peak of the day will be Tuesday with the swell being fairly sizable, and the tide's sort of middle of the day. So so best days Monday and Tuesday for decent waves in Western Port. So hopefully you get in the water, stay well, watch out for the brown water, and talk to you next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPP News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.